Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me today. I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the JDS Philosophy mini lecture series. Today is our 20th episode, and it is going to be kind of a special one because this is also going to be the last episode of the mini lecture series. And I'm going to explain why after I get through today's topic. And it definitely ties into today's topic because, to be honest, what the mini lecture series started out as and always was intended to be is exactly what the basis of today's lecture is. And that is the idea that if you want something you've never had before, you've got to do something that you've never done. And it's an interesting concept to think about, but it's so true. Think about it. If you've been working a 9 to 5 your entire life and you started out working paycheck to paycheck and you have worked very hard for the last several years, decades, wherever you're at in your life, and at this point you've gone from working paycheck to paycheck to now living direct deposit to direct deposit. It's essentially one and the same, and that's the change most of us have made in our lives. But we continue to do the same things over and over again. We work 9 to 5 jobs because we're told to, we're conditioned to. And it becomes something that we almost cling to out of safety because it's easier just to hold on to a cruddy 9 to 5 that doesn't pay real well, definitely doesn't value your skill set for what it actually is. They're trying to get you for the lowest dollar amount possible. And I get it. That's capitalism. And it's life. But if you want to get ahead, you have to look at the way you're playing the game. And that being said, you have to decide what you want in life. For me, it's real simple. And my measure of success is a very, very basic one that a lot of people aren't going to understand because of how simple it is. See, I'm not looking for fame. I don't necessarily want people to like me. I want them to understand and appreciate the message I have to share. Whether they like me as a person doesn't figure into the equation for me. But that makes it easier for me to accept feedback because I don't take everything personally. It makes it where I understand that somebody giving me feedback is actually trying to help in some way, shape, or form, and that there's lessons to be learned out of it. But that feedback doesn't come unless I'm willing to take some risks. You see, I will just point out this whole podcast, the mini lecture series, the upcoming trail podcast that will be starting later this week, the videos I've done, it's all had a purpose. It's all been working at finding a different way to do the things I've always done, but to do it in a way I've never done it before. And it's been real interesting to watch the way the last few weeks have played out for me. I've been looking for work full time during the summer because I work as an aide. And with school being out, there hasn't been hours available. And I've been trying to find a job, and I've really put near full time effort into that. It's kind of hard here in Arizona with the heat and not having a vehicle, but I'm still getting out there and trying to find work. I'm actually going to a job fair tomorrow and got my fingers crossed on that because I know that I've kind of pestered the manager at the store a little bit over the last week and a half. And she actually told me today she has an appreciation for it because it shows that I do want to work and that I'm not trying to just skate by, that I'm putting the effort in. And at the same time, I'm putting an almost equal amount of effort into something that I know at this moment isn't going to pay off monetarily, but what I'm doing lays the foundation for me to be able to share my message, get it out there at a level that eventually it will get noticed. It's already starting to happen. And it just has taken me having enough belief in myself to try something different. And that's where this becomes the last episode of the mini lecture series. You see, when I started it, I didn't know what I was doing with it. I knew I needed to start recording something because I knew that podcast was the direction I was going. I had my vision for the podcast originally, and so far I have not been able to find the things necessary, the pieces necessary to make my original vision happen. But guess what? My original vision has also evolved quite a bit, and that evolution has come because of the mini lecture series. I didn't expect to be getting to 20 episodes as quick as I did. I appreciate those of you who've been following from the beginning. I appreciate those of you who've joined along the way. I'd encourage you, if you have not gone back and watched some of the original videos, please do. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. And I can honestly say I have received some feedback, and that's part of why this episode becomes the last episode of the mini lecture series. But from here, I start putting more focus on the Trail podcast from JDS Philosophy, where I will be giving more focused and more directed lectures on specific topics. I'm not going to be doing as many episodes per week, but the episodes will be a little more refined because they're going to take a little more time to put together. What you guys have gotten thus far has been me trying to figure out what in this works and what I need to change to make what I want to do work. I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to my message, and I appreciate the feedback I have gotten. It's wonderful to know that this message is touching people's lives. And as I close out the mini lecture series here, and realistically it just becomes the new beginning of something even bigger, the Trail podcast, it becomes me taking steps towards my dreams and my goals. It became me doing something I'd never done before, something that scared me a little bit in the beginning. But the more that I've done this, and 20 episodes isn't a lot, but let me tell you, the comfort level came a long way really fast. And in the end, I genuinely believe I will be successful in this, that I will obtain my personal measure of success. And because I know that I can do it, it's going to happen. It is happening. Everything's coming together. It's been scary. It's been a heck of a ride. I appreciate you guys coming along with me on it. I'd like to encourage you, if you haven't followed, subscribed, liked my page, please do so. I'm on YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, Facebook, Patreon, a lot of different platforms, and continuing to expand out to other podcast platforms as I'm continuing to grow. I see the value. I know others have told me that they see the value in what I do. And I know that each of us have this ability in us to make amazing things happen. I believe in each and every one of you. I wish you the best. I thank you for joining me in the mini lecture series. And I do hope you follow along as we move from the mini lecture series to the trail, a JDS philosophy production. This podcast is something that means a lot to me. It's what I've been working towards. And I'll be honest, even as I step into the trail, I'm not 100% sure exactly what form it's all going to take. I do know that I would prefer it not to be a pure lecture format. I actually am looking for guests, so if you're interested, love to hear from you. And maybe maybe we can work together sometime, make arrangements to sit and have a conversation on some of the deeper thoughts on life and the paths that we take and how those paths show us the very reality that we perceive. And how, just like Socrates said, it's so easy to change your reality. All you have to do is change your mind. I may be wrong on which Greek philosopher it was who said that. It might have been Aristotle. But, that's also part of it. I might be wrong. And I recognize that. And I own that. And, it is what it is. But in the end, remember, you got this. Like, subscribe, follow, leave me a comment, and know that you are loved and you are an amazing human being. We'll see you on the Trail Podcast, a JDS Philosophy production. Thank you for your support.